Hello, creators. Registration for our next Wellness Center Creators Retreat opens September 1st, 2025. And we'd love to have you join us in person in Vancouver, Washington, September 22nd through 25th in 2026.
We've only got 20 spaces per track, so be sure to check out the options and see which one fits you and any leadership team members you may want to bring along.
If you register before the end of the year, you'll get the early bird rate plus some new VIP perks.
All the details are at wellnesscentercreators.com/retreats, and we can't wait to see you there.
Today's episode is sponsored by Jane, a clinic management software and EMR. Waiting on hold isn't anyone's idea of time well spent, especially when you're busy providing exceptional care to your patients and clients and running your clinic. The Jane team knows how valuable your time is. That's why they work hard to keep call wait times to an average of 2 minutes. This means you can get quick answers to your clinic questions and head into your weekend with one less task on your to-do list. Plus, unlimited phone, email, and live chat support from their team of friendly humans is included in every Jane subscription. So, no matter where you're at on your Jane journey, they're always there to lend a hand. To see how Jane can help you take back your personal time, head to jane.app to book a one-on-one demo, or use the code wellness1mo at sign-up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. Hi there, and welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'm Kendall Hagenson.
And I'm Anna Rudell. We're thrilled to have you join us on this journey of creating innovative, patient-centered wellness centers.
As experienced health and wellness providers, we've seen firsthand the challenges of delivering comprehensive, holistic care to our patients.
That's why we created this podcast, to share the knowledge, strategies, and insights we've gained from our own experiences and from connecting with experts in the field.
Each episode, we'll dive into a different aspect of building and growing a successful wellness center, from developing a strong multidisciplinary team to implementing cutting-edge technologies and treatment approaches.
We'll also share practical tips, resources, and real-world examples to help you overcome common obstacles and streamline your processes.
Our goal is to empower you with the tools and confidence you need to create a thriving wellness center that truly makes a difference in your patients' lives.
So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your existing practice to the next level, you're in the right place.
Get ready to learn, grow, and be inspired. Let's create something amazing together.
Welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, Anna and I are going to talk about soft skills in the workplace and why we feel they're so important as leaders. We've talked about this a lot, like our approach to leadership, but we recently saw this video with Esther Perel talking on Diary of a CEO about just how important this is, and it just made me so happy to hear a public figure really talk genuinely about this. What do you think, Anna?
Well, I mean, to me, it's kind of stating the obvious, but...
Well, sure, we think that.
We think that, right? But we're also in professions that really elevate soft skills. Mm-hmm. And I don't like the term soft skills, let it be known as well.
I know. It's like the most powerful skill set you can have.
Yes.
Why is it called soft skills?
Right. So, there are quite a few things that Esther Perel brought up in that video that are quite interesting to discuss a little bit about. And I think one of them that stood out for me was that leaders need to be able to show vulnerability. And I think that's quite hard sometimes when we perceive our job as being without we feel the vulnerability, right? But we don't necessarily have the opportunity to show it because we are moving our team in a direction and trying to hold the space for them. But I think it could be really powerful to show that vulnerability from time to time. And I don't know I know for you and for me, Kendall, we both are not afraid of a tear or two. And I know that in those moments, my team has
Yeah.
always rallied round.
Yeah. We welcome tears on our staff. We try to create some structure, in our Wednesday meetings is like, everyone knows like that is a safe space when we're invited to check in, we're invited to share. That's a safe container. I'm going to use the word container. It's a safe container to really share like, hey, this has actually been a really difficult time for me. This is what's going on, as to people's comfort level. And I feel the same as a leader, that I can utilize that space to be honest with my team to an extent, right? There's,
Right.
vulnerable to an extent. I always try to be honest, of course, as much as possible. But it's a really interesting concept. We've certainly elevated this idea of vulnerability and being yourself at work, and just being a human, with the understanding, like this is the most difficult part, right? That there is still an understanding that we can't let our home lives impact our work here, right?
Right.
That there's grace and there's room to take time off, of course, and there's, tragedy and there all of those things. But sometimes we're going through a difficult season of life for a long season, and we still have to show up and be an awesome clinician and be present with our teammates and focus on the task at hand, right? And I think that's where we can have the shadow side of this idea of welcoming vulnerability.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a line, it is a fine line between trauma bonding
Sure.
and allowing the space for somebody to say, hey, this is going on.
Yeah.
Allow me the space, please, if I look distracted, but I'm going to be an awesome clinician when I'm on duty, but I may be a little off in those moments in between.
Yeah. And so I think the listener might be thinking, well, how do I create the culture where my teammate knows that they can come to me and say, hey, I'm feeling a little off and I'm going to do my best, but X, Y, and Z is going on, or, I need an accommodation, or I'm going to need a couple things off my plate. Like, can we talk about that? Right? Because even in the best work culture and environments, employees still can have hesitancy to come and ask for what they need. Right. So what's your approach, Anna, to creating an environment where that is understood and put into action?
So for me, it's making sure that I'm physically in the office, getting eyes on my employees and having the opportunity to look them in the eyes and check in on a regular basis. We have more formal check-ins scheduled regularly, but I've noticed that as a clinician myself, I have a fairly elevated ability to see behind the words. And so
intuitive.
having those moments of touch base are the way that I can create trust. And that's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
The ability.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. So that's really where I do it. Yes, the formalized, yes, the scheduled. Yes, I know you have team meetings every week where you're really, really intentional about the space that you create, but we don't have that. So it has to be different.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to be, it's like, I think obviously larger companies, it's more difficult because it takes efforting. And I think even small teams,
quite like that,
right?
efforting.
It's one of my favorite words. And when people join our team, I use that term. I say because from the outside, being on this team feels like a walk in the park, right? We look like
Mm-hmm.
we're having so much fun. You don't have to see as many clients. You can make more money and you get to work in a beautiful space. And yeah, those things are true. And I always tell people in the interview process, this takes more efforting to be here
Mm-hmm.
because we're all being incredibly intentional about how we interact with each other, how we support each other, how we support our patients and clients. And we actively are doing that throughout the week over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it takes more efforting than different environments. I'm trying to think of if there's another kind of like most important, nugget of wisdom around this. I think it honestly comes down to the frequency and quality of touch points, like you're saying, and
Right.
also like modeling that we continue to model this dynamic. And the other day I met with someone on the team and I said, because it's kind of been this few week process of like, I don't think they're doing very well. I think something's going
Mm-hmm.
on. I think they need more support. I think there's maybe a gap in a system that we need to come into. And finally, I looked at them and I said, I don't think that you're doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Is that an alignment for you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they can relax into it and go, okay, you know what? You're right. And I can say, let's talk about it. We need to get into it before it's too late. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
here and we're going to get into it and we're going to figure it out. And we did. So I think it takes whoever is in a supervisory role, in a leadership role, it's that efforting of, you know what, we're going to meet. Oh, we're going to meet again. Oh, let's meet again. let's really figure this out. Let me take the lead. Let me be the first to say, we're going to open this conversation and it's okay to have a hard conversation, right? Because
Right.
I don't know how many times I've been told, even by team members who have been here for years, that there's still a barrier at times to, there's a fear of coming to your boss, no matter how
Mm-hmm.
awesome and kind they are. There can still be a fear to come to your boss and ask for what you need, or to give feedback, or to say that you're struggling. A lot of us in this field, we're helpers and healers, and we have this tendency, right, to take everything on ourselves, or we want to be the ones to fix it for people. And so if we don't have like capacity for something, it can be hard for us to acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it also, I think, as a leader, understanding that if somebody does come to you, and they're going to, that there is that container that you talked about, that we agree on, okay, let's give you X number of weeks, and this point will be the next check-in around this, and this will be the next step after that. So you're not just thrown back into what you've just tried to get out of in order to give yourself the space to heal or do whatever needs to be done. And creating some steps around that can be really comforting. The employee feels heard, but there also there's intentionality around how it's dealt with.
Yeah. And that comfort, like that they know you're not going to let the ball drop. Like you're going to
Right.
hold that forward so that there's accountability and progress. And really
And
we
also
need
that
this.
they
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, also that they don't come to you with something and then you basically just take them off for a long period of time,
Mm-hmm.
and their ability to create income is then compromised in some way. That you're thoughtful about, okay, well, yes, let's increase your ability to take a little bit of time for this length of time, and this is
Yes.
how we will reintegrate you to the practice or whatever.
Yeah. There's a plan in place.
There's a plan.
Yeah. And I think we need this skill set, and I want a new term for it. We're not going to call it soft skills anymore.
No, we
We
don't
need
like it.
like a powerful term. We'll let you know what we come up with, but we need this skill set every day. And this is why I think helping and healing professionals make such amazing leaders, because we are taught these skills, particularly, mental health counselors and anyone in the mental health field, right? This
Yes.
is our skill set. But I think most alternative healthcare modalities, right, our personalities are in alignment with that and the skill set you're learning in school. But we need these skills every single day. We need them when we're leading group meetings. We need them when an upset patient is in the waiting room and our, front desk staff needs some support. Like I don't see psychotherapy clients anymore. I use these skills every single day with my staff and with patients who are coming through, and just in those even little moments, right? It doesn't even need to be like a big, important feedback meeting.
Yeah. And I think that's why, as leaders, having our own coaches is also important, because
for sure.
the coach then provides, or the therapist or whomever provides, a safe space for us to be coming to our coach and letting off some steam there and creating some of our own.
I think that's actually vitally important, because we tend to think, we have the skills, we can do this on our own, and we can't. And and to have, we need someone in our corner. We need someone to bounce those ideas off of, and someone to look at us and say, well, actually, the way that you approach that, here's why that happened. Here's the ripple impact of that. And we have to actually take a softer approach, at times.
Right.
It's a good point. Of course, Anne and I are coaches, but we have our own coaches too. And those coaches have coaches. So, that level of support, I think, is imperative.
Yeah, because we need it too. We need support too.
Yeah. What else feels important about this, Anna? I wonder, I feel like we might get questions of like, okay, I understand the importance of this, but how do I learn it? Like what resources are there?
Well, listen to Esther Perel.
Yeah, well, find the video. Esther Perel on Diary of a CEO. I mean, Brené Brown has been talking about this forever, right?
What's his name? Leadership chap.
Simon Sinek.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there's some people out there. Simon Sinek, always just appreciate, even his social media is just enjoyable. He has little nuggets. There's also the Level Up Leaders, who are two therapists in our community who they have, if you look them up on Instagram, Level Up Leaders, they talk about trauma-informed leadership a lot and these types of skills. So I like what they have to say. Yeah. And of course, reach out to us individually. You can always email me, Kendall at wellnesscentercreators.com, and we're happy to answer specific questions on the podcast, or I'm happy to just chat with you through email too if you're getting stuck trying to implement any of these skills.
All right, Kendall. Well, thank you for your insights today. I'm glad you got inspired.
Same. Always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
All right. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wellness Center Creators podcast. We hope you found this episode informative and valuable.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating and review. Your support helps us reach more health and wellness professionals like you.
For additional resources, show notes, and more episodes, visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com.
We'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts, experiences, and questions. Feel free to reach out to us through our website or social media channels.
Once again, thank you for listening. We appreciate your dedication to providing exceptional patient care.
Join us next time as we continue exploring the world of wellness center creation. Until then, take care and keep making a difference.
Thanks for listening to the Wellness Center Creators podcast.